No place like the Cube.
Queer news, queer news, queer news.
Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment. And we've been soaring this year, okay? Now, if you didn't the incomparable Whoopi Goldberg at the Met Gala red carpet. When I saw this on my feed, I had to share it with you because I feel this in a deep way. We've been together week after week for the last 4 years, and there is still so many people that have no idea that this podcast even exists. But we know, right, the magic we're creating here. The type of magic that has helped me raise $1,768 in just a few weeks to support our World Pride coverage. Come on, Ryan, let's put some boom, 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 some hand claps, something right here, okay? Thank you, Susan, Rachel, Carolyn, Jay, Rex, Lisa, Ariana, Julianne, Freedom, and Andrew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I can't say thank you enough. This is the magic we're creating. And when the other folks find out, come on, we welcome them with open arms, okay? Now, family, do you have a local news story not getting enough amplification, a queer organization other folks should know about? Are you an artist who's got a song coming out? Send in a queer news tip. We got some today, okay? I love hearing about them. Also, please keep them coming. Info on how to submit is in the show notes. QCrew, what is going on? Thank you for your continued commitment to helping sustain this podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The QCrew helps to cover the cost of our editor, Ryan, who I quite literally couldn't do this podcast without. So if you believe in the work we do, if you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, if you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, join the QCrew. A link is in the show notes. In politics, Arizona's governor vetoes 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 anti-trans bills. And the Supreme Court rules with Trump to kick out trans service members. In culture and entertainment, we have a report. In culture and entertainment, we have a special report from our Queer News contributor, Benjamin Coy, about the Met Gala. We talk about the new inductees to the Wall of Honor at Stonewall Inn, and I share about a new art exhibit in Chicago called The First Homosexuals. Let's get into it. Family, as promised, we are going to start this podcast with some good news, and some good Chicago news at that. The Born This Way Foundation has awarded the Trans Upfront Illinois organization funds from the 2025-2026 Kindness and Community Fund. Now, that fund offers much more than just financial support. It also offers mental health support and resources to those in need. Trans Upfront Illinois is a part of the 55 organizations selected to receive the Kindness and Community Fund. Now, the Born This Way Foundation awarded $5 million to 55 youth-centered organizations across 11 countries. $5 million. 55 youth centers across 11 countries. That's major. Trans Upfront and the work they are doing here in Illinois, this money is going to go to uplift trans and gender expansive youth here. Leadership development, direct support, education, and advocacy. Okay? There were 4,000 nominations to the Born This Way Foundation. And Trans Upfront, okay, is one of the 55. And the Born This Way Foundation, of course, sounds familiar because it's co-founded by Lady Gaga herself. Now, Trans Upfront Illinois Executive Director Asher wrote a passionate message saying, being selected for the Kindness and Community Fund is a powerful affirmation of the work our youth, families, and communities are doing every day. This grant will directly strengthen our capacity to create safer spaces, expand support systems, and ensure trans young people across Illinois feel seen, valued, and supported. Now get this, family, Trans Upfront Illinois isn't the only Chicagoland recipient of this grant. The Center on Halsted was also awarded funds as well. I can't wait to see how these two organizations continue to do the work that is so desperately needed in our communities right now. Congratulations, y'all. Now in politics. If you all remember, back in November, we reported about the trans ban in the Air Force and how those affected are now without retirement plans and how it upended their entire lives, that they changed course. We now have an update as to how those bans were held up in the court of law. In a 2-1 ruling, the U.S. Court of Appeals ruled that the transgender service ban initiated by the Trump administration are to remain in place for now, while the government appeals a lower court ruling. The 3-judge panel dissolved a temporary stay and formally put U.S. District Judge Ana C. Reyes' preliminary injunction on hold. So this basically means, right, in layman's terms, and to keep it plain and clear, that the military can continue enforcing this ban. And the discharge process for our trans siblings who are troops remains active. The underlying lawsuit itself, though, is not over. This is not the end of the road, because there are oral arguments coming up on the appeal scheduled for January 22nd. Family, the court battles are just so ongoing, you know? And so in an interview with The Advocate following this ruling, trans U.S. Army reservist Nicholas Talbot had this to say. As leaders in the Army, we are taught to stay mission-focused despite any challenges or disappointments along the way. Today's decision simply means the current status quo remains in place. We remain committed to the case and preparing for the next hearing. In the meantime, my priority is to continue to do my job, serve my country, and provide support to my soldiers as we continue through the holiday season. Let me tell you, Nicholas Talbot has been so outspoken, so firm in his stance to continue to serve his country. Child, I don't know if it could be me. But he is committed to this fight, and I'm so glad, because there are so many trans service members who are being impacted, and everyone does not, and let me repeat, everyone does not have the privilege of doing what he is able to do. These rapid changes in policy affect those who receive retirement benefits, health care, housing, etc. And recently, Admiral Rachel L. Levine has been feeling the effects of the trans ban and the hate and discrimination firsthand. Now, if you don't know, or maybe you don't remember who the Admiral is, she is the first female and first openly trans 4-star Admiral in the U.S. Public Health Service. She was nominated and appointed during the Biden administration. To commemorate her time serving her country, her portrait is currently on display on the 7th floor of the Humphrey Building in Washington, D.C. Well, last week, the nameplate underneath her portrait was changed by HHS, and changed in the most disrespectful and ugly way. They decided to have it read her dead name instead. While Levine told NPR that she won't, quote, comment on this type of petty action, her friends and co-workers had a lot to say in the face of this petty bigotry. Adrian Shanker, former Deputy Assistant Secretary for Health Policy in the Biden administration, who worked closely with Levine and is now her spokesperson, called this move, quote, an act of bigotry against her. And honestly, that's really nice. It's a really nice way to put it, because child, it's way more than that. It's so incredibly just downright disrespectful and hateful, okay? I can say that. The Trump administration's fixation with our trans sibs is unheard of. It's disgusting and blatant transphobia on full display for the world to see. Now, I know we do a lot of digital advocacy, okay, online. Some folks be in the comments, but family, figure out Okay? How you show up in real life to support our trans sibs. Because if you show up to any of these organizations doing the work with a good heart, if you've got time, talent, or treasure, let me tell you something, they're going to receive it, okay? Because they need it. They need it right now. I think this is a great time for us to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to jump into culture and entertainment. If you're listening to this, it means we didn't sell this ad space. If you're listening to this, it means running ads on our podcast can actually work. You see what I did there? Do you need some promo? A little amplification? Hit us up at info@e3radio.fm. That's info@e3radio.fm. We have a platform. You should use it.
Queer Family Podcast.
If you've ever felt like your family didn't fit the traditional mold, this show is for you. I'm Jamie, host of the Queer Family Podcast. And every week we highlight LGBTQIA+ families and the beautiful, unique ways we build and show up for our families in a world that wasn't designed for us. We celebrate, highlight, uplift, and normalize queer families because our stories deserve center stage. New episodes every Monday. Listen wherever you get your pods.
Love is love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Did you know we had a newsletter? Yes. The Queer News Podcast has a weekly newsletter that comes out every Monday. There's a special newsletter for the QCrew, but there's a free newsletter for absolutely everybody. So if you want to stay in the know about what I got going on, what I got to say unfiltered, and just a list of all the stories covered every single week with time codes, you got to subscribe to the newsletter. A link to subscribe is in the show notes. Family, welcome back to the show. In culture news, we have sad news to share about Jason Collins, the first openly gay NBA player. His family publicly announced back in September that Collins was battling a brain tumor. When reflecting back on that time, Collins recounted that, quote, his family, they did that announcement to protect his privacy while he was mentally unable to speak for himself, and his loved ones were trying to understand what they were dealing with. But now, he said, now it's time for folks to hear directly from him. Last week, Collins publicly shared that he is battling stage 4 glioblastoma. Glioblastoma is a cancer that affects the brain and the spinal cord. It starts as a small growth that can rapidly develop in the brain. According to Collins, and this is a quote, "What makes glioblastoma so dangerous is that it grows within a very finite, contained space, the skull, and is very aggressive and can expand. What makes it so difficult to treat in my case is that it's surrounded by the brain and is encroaching upon the frontal lobe, which essentially makes you you. The current life expectancy in America for those diagnosed with this is 13 months. But I have a game plan. Me and my family have a game plan." Collins shared all of this in an interview with ESPN that he plans to seek treatment internationally. Collins has already begun treatment in Singapore and plans to continue receiving treatment there. He says the goal is to keep fighting the progress of the tumors long enough for a personalized immunotherapy to be made for me and to keep me healthy long enough to receive that immune therapy once it's ready. Because my tumor is unresectable. Okay, so family, end quote. Okay, I needed to look up what unresectable meant. So this means that it's cancerous growth that cannot be completely removed by surgery, often because it's too intertwined with vital blood vessels or organs that have spread or, in medical jargon, metastasized, right, to distant sites or critical lymph nodes. Or the patient's health risks are just too high for the procedure. So going solely with the, quote, standard of care, which would be radiation, the average prognosis is only 11 to 14 months. If that's all the time I have left, Collins says I'd rather spend it trying a course of treatment that might one day be a new standard of care for everyone. In my years of reporting on Queer News, Jason Collins has always been a top story. His courageous act of coming out in the NBA was monumental. Since that moment, he has spent his life traveling the country, speaking on panels, and his twin brother, who also played in the NBA, has been his biggest supporter and stood by his side every step of the way. Him and his husband. And even in the darkest of moments in this time in his life, because let's be clear, he is only 47 years old. He's only 47. So even in this moment, he is thinking about others. He's not thinking about himself. Family, we continue to wish Collins and his family well during this incredibly difficult time. In entertainment, multi-hyphenate, multi-award winning, always in a winning season of late, Cynthia Erivo continues to make history. The Golden Globes nominations came out this month, and Cynthia has been nominated for Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, for her performance as Elphaba in Wicked for Good. Cynthia is now the first Black woman to be nominated in this category twice, and twice in a row at that, Cynthia was also nominated in the same category for her performance as Elphaba in Wicked Part 1. In addition to the Golden Globe, Cynthia Erivo has been nominated for the Grammys in the categories of Best Pop Duo Group Performance alongside Ariana Grande, Best Arrangement, Instrumental or A Cappella, and Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media. Cynthia has received countless nominations for her role as Elphaba in Wicked in 2025 as well. Upon hearing the news, Cynthia thanked those who supported her in an Instagram post by saying, quote, "Wow, what lovely news to receive live from the rehearsal room of Dracula. It's an honor to be nominated once again for this film. It has been a beautiful journey to play this character, and this is the cherry on top. This entire journey could never have been possible without the wonderful leadership of my brother and glorious director, John M. Chu, and producer extraordinaire everyone could wish for, Mark Platt." Family, one thing is for certain, this role and this year have been most certainly changed Cynthia Erivo for good. Now, family, for our last story today, the 6th annual GLAAD and Teen Vogue 20 Under 20 list for 2025 is out. Each year, since its inception in 2020, GLAAD and Teen Vogue have teamed up to celebrate 20 incredible changemakers who are under 20 years old. The portrait of this year's honorees were painted by George Hilton III and can be seen on GLAAD's website. That's also where you can find the full list of honorees. Honorees are chosen by the GLAAD committee, and the criteria they need to meet are as follows. 1, the honoree works to positively affect marginalized communities, particularly LGBTQ folks. 2, the honoree has been featured in or a part of broad regional or national news media stories, public media campaigns, or other public media initiatives. 3, the honoree enhances representation for LGBTQ folks through media advocacy. And 4, the honoree utilizes an intersectional approach to LGBTQ advocacy. In addition to making the list, GLAAD offers additional resources to their 20 Under 20, such as media training, industry connections, and larger visibility on social media platforms. It is tough to stand out on a list so monumental, but some honorees that we like to shine a light on are Zaya Wade, an activist and the daughter of Dwayne Wade, CATSI members Megan and Laura, creator of the Free Period Products database Annabelle White, and disability rights activist Mia Miller. Congratulations to all the 20 Under 20 honorees. Family, let me just tell you, if you look at this list, you will feel like, the future is bright. Social media will be happy you losing it for a second, but let me tell you, this list right here, 20 Under 20, will make you think and believe we're gonna be all right. Family, it's time for Anna's Got a Word, because Anna's always got a word. And the word today is preparation. Now, this past weekend, I had the opportunity to co-chair Lambda Legal's Bond Foster Celebration. It is a fundraiser and a celebration, truly, of Lambda Legal's work When Doug Curtis, the Midwest Regional Director for Lambda Legal, asked me, it was an honor. I truly respect how Lambda Legal continues to show up for LGBT turn. Right now, as far as I can tell, there is Republican hate, there are the courts, and then there's our democracy on the other side. And Lambda Legal is right there, standing in the gap, right in the middle, fighting for our rights at every single turn. And our democracy is holding on by a thin thread. But Lambda has so much to do with that. And so it was an honor. I said yes immediately, didn't have to think about it. Because if I can support the work that Lambda Legal is doing and help them to raise money, I will. That night, we raised over $140,000, but in total, Lambda Legal raised $670,000, and they had a $50,000 match. Incredible. But as we were preparing for the evening, we got there early. Yes, it took place at the Art Institute in the Modern Wing. So beautiful. And we had to prepare, and we rehearsed, okay? The program is only about 30 minutes. We rehearsed, okay? We read the teleprompters and we did the walkthrough. We even practiced hugging each other, how we were gonna move across the stage, and it all worked so well. It came off so seamless. And it's because we prepared. It's because the Lambda Legal team here in Chicago made sure everybody had what they needed. And it showed. And I just want to share with you all that preparation truly is key. And I want you all to begin preparing in your own lives. And not just thinking about today or tomorrow, but thinking about the next 5 years, the next 10 years, thinking about your legacy, what we want to leave behind. As I report on the news every day and talking about queer folks, the good news, the tragic news, all of it, preparation is really
Queer news, queer news, queer news.
If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna DeShawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall, and brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on The Cube. We are Queer News Done Right.